So let's begin with the first question, nature or nurture? Now, the overview understanding is that the trading experiment that began in 1980s by two wealthy investors, Richard Dennis, William Eckhart, asked the question, nature, nurture, are successful investors born with the skill or can they be trained? The so-called total experiment demonstrated that a proven strategy can be modeled and learned. But here's the big lesson. Only to those who are willing to make the required changes to be a disciplined and consistent performer. So the reality is the best of the best still have the challenge in being successful and consistent, even if they are born with the skill, because ultimately they have to. It's a lifelong journey of learning and change. And for those that still need to do the extra catch-up work, again, the work remains the same. And so the big challenge here is not nature or nurture. The big challenge here, based upon research that I did with one of the original Total Trader nominees, Dr. Van Tharp, is change. Not everyone can be a successful or great trader, in a large part because they're not willing to change who they believe themselves to be. There's this change factor issue or X factor challenge that all people have with any high performance work. Trading is one of those case examples. Now, what I've always recommended is greater self-awareness as a way of enhancing our success in any high performance work, including trading, and particularly greater self-awareness and training of our nature nurture attributes to have further impact. Now, at the heart of our human nature is a biological DNA programming that influences survival instincts, fight or flight response, and ultimately the risk or loss aversion within life and ultimately financial trading world. This includes our behavioral biases. So Alvaro, you were talking about behavioral biases as being top impact for you. That includes cognitive, i.e. Biases that relate back to the mental mind, and emotional, i.e. biases that are all to do with our feelings and spontaneous reactions to greed and fear and other types of emotional biases. Cognitive and emotional, behavioral in general, are partly to do with natural things that we are born with, as well as unique temperaments, i.e. our personality profile, which influences three key areas: outlook, our outlook on life, but also markets; risk tolerance, the amount of risk that we're willing to take on any one trade on any one day; and most importantly, decision making. Now, what I'm saying to you, I'm also reading to you from the second paragraph there, based on work I've been doing for years. I thought I would spell it out word for word so that you could have the benefit of both my teaching in different ways. So that's nature. DNA programming, fight, flight response, particularly with the trigger of loss aversion in life and markets. It is also separately includes behavioral biases and our personality type, what I call temperaments, which influences key areas of your trading. Now, on the second half, the nurture is based on life's outer world environmental changes that shape our inner subconscious beliefs and values, translating into the primary drivers of our process. Both attributes lead to the same outcome: nature and nurture. Visually, this is what it looks like, and I've been sharing this for some years now. Those of you that have been with me in recent times will know this. This is the roadmap to transformation. You can see the nature on the left, nurture on the right, and in between, 3 steps to your success and peak performance to be a consistently successful trader: awareness, change, transformation. Awareness, change, transformation. Now, awareness that is multi-level. There is no final destination. Ultimately, we usually start with a relatively basic level of awareness because it's a tough um, it's a tough experience to have in terms of making the decision to be self-aware, in terms of doing the work, and particularly to do it on the nature nurture side of things. But the more awareness we have, just like the baby learning how to walk after it's crawled, the more we can learn about the change strategies that can be applied in order to progress. And then if we can progress viably and sustainably over time, that is what we call transformation. It is a long-lasting changed pattern, successful change pattern that can impact our trading.